Hello and welcome to Difficulty Settings. This is interview number 4, and I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how my disability affects my career, and I'm going to be showing off a little bit of my film work with you today. Yes, thank you very much for tuning into this episode, and I hope that you enjoy it. My name is Sarah von Gertzen. I'm 27 years old. I'm a person with disabilities. I live in Edmonton, Alberta, and I'm a filmmaker. Since 2011, I've had different types of headaches and some debilitating migraines. And then just recently, I have been struggling to find are struggling with some physical pain, so including joint pain, some lower back pain, and a whole bunch of other different kinds of symptoms. And I am on the medical journey of figuring out what those are caused by. Today, I'm feeling all right. I have, it's very in the middle or an average day for me. I have some back pain right now and some joint pain, but it's not to the unmanageable level yet. I think I felt the most vulnerable I had been talking about my support systems. I feel like it's a very personal thing, and it's so your own. Everyone's is gonna look differently, and everyone's gonna make them feel differently. So I definitely have a lot of anxiety, I think, talking a little bit about mine. But I definitely wanted to be open and honest with this series, and I think that it was a really important episode to have and talk about. In today's interview, we will be talking about my career as a filmmaker and how my disability affects different aspects about it. My career as a filmmaker definitely feels, to me at least, that of an emerging filmmaker. I feel like I'm in the very beginnings of my career. It can be really, really challenging, I think, to work in any type of field with a disability. I'm sure that it has many struggles and challenges in any different field. I think in the arts, it can be in some ways very forgiving and very fitting, because you can work on your own schedule, and you can kind of like plan around your disability. I know that also a lot of people that I talk to that are disabled have a hard time deciding when they should reveal that they have a disability, or like how much that they should talk about it. It can be really challenging sometimes, I think, to talk about it. And to introduce myself to somebody, or even introduce my career to somebody. I definitely feel like an imposter. It has taken me so long to say that I'm a filmmaker, like as my career, and not like a student or whatever other part-time job that I had at the time. Because it's definitely what I want to be my career, and it can be really challenging, I think, to have that like introduction. It Descended is a short film that I made. It was a film that I had to make, well, I didn't have to make it. I wanted to make it for Edmonton's Got a Minute Film Festival. So in that festival, the parameters to enter is that your film has to be 60 seconds and it has to be a silent film. So you have to tell a story without sound, and you have to tell it in 60 seconds. I made it because I really wanted to get into making horror movies. That's one of my favorite things, are horror movies. And I really wanted to make something that was kind of like an alien abduction kind of horror movie. I made it with one of my best friends and one of the crew members that's here right now, Cameron Costain. And he is acting in it, and I think I probably blinded him maybe permanently by shining the light in his eyes so many times. But I'm so happy with the final shots of that film. I that's one that I don't mind watching, especially the end of. Watching it back now, though, I would probably change the whole beginning. Lately, I've been making a lot more productions, again, compared to like how it was during the pandemic where I wasn't making anything. But I personally would say that I sometimes feel like I'm not making enough, and I feel like that comes with feeling limited by my disability, whether that's like fatigue or financial reasons or physical limitations. I always feel like I'm not making as much as I want to. Sometimes I feel like the time in between projects is really, really hard. It's a really hard time for me. But yeah, I would say I'm probably making at least 2 projects a year, maybe one, but I would like it to be more. But I definitely love working on my own projects versus working on other people's projects. And I think that comes from having that control on the whole project, because I can schedule myself based on my needs. Like I can basically accommodate myself easier than sometimes somebody can accommodate me. It can be very challenging, especially in the film industry. And yeah, I feel like I don't get to make something myself very often. And it can sometimes be like a little bit challenging to find the time and find the energy to make something. So yeah, I feel like I don't make it as much as I want to, but I think I'm making as much as I can right now. I think that those are the two differences between it. In 2011, when I ended up getting sick, and then I started having my first debilitating migraine, I was staying home a lot, and I was often homesick from school and other things, and I wasn't going out very much. So when I started watching, I've always been into like movies and television, but when that happened, I got even more into movies and televisions. It was basically kind of like all I did, and I really loved the feeling that it gave me, like kind of like that reassurance and that comfortability, and that it made me laugh, and it made me feel emotions, and it made me learn about things and relate to people. And I watched a Canadian comedy television series that was filmed in Edmonton. And I ended up just like falling in love with it. Just the idea that something so funny could be filmed in Edmonton, and something that looked so good, and something that I really loved. And at that time, I was like really struggling with what I wanted to do, because when I had gotten sick before that, I wanted to do a lot of like communications work, so a lot of writing and a lot of like technical writing. And when I had gotten sick, and with my migraines and everything, that course just veered off for me, because I could no longer learn the same way. I couldn't write the same way. I couldn't think the same way. So it was really like a challenge to be like, oh, I have all this passion for writing and creating things, but I didn't know what to do with it. And when I saw this television series, I was like, oh, this can happen here. I could do this here. And I was just so in awe of it. And I kind of was like, okay, this is like what I want to do. And it kind of set me into the path of trying to find Canadian filmmakers and trying to find Edmonton filmmakers more specifically. And yeah, I definitely, from there on, the first time I set foot on a set, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I absolutely loved the feeling. Captured is a short film that I made. It also has no sound and is part of the God a Minute Film Festival. I do a lot of God a Minutes. I think it's so fun to tell a story without sound. It just alleviates so much stress to know that your film's going to be silent. And I think the challenge of doing something in 60 seconds, telling a story, is so important to learn as a filmmaker. And I think that the ones that I have done in the past, it has added so much to other productions. But Captured is specifically a short film that I did, and I shot it on Super 8 film. So it's the first ever film that I shot on real film. Um, and I really like how it turned out. It's another horror movie. I obviously really like horror and want to make more of it. Um, but I really enjoyed the process of making it. I was so excited about Super 8 film. I was so nervous about it though, because you can't see what's happening in the camera. You have to trust yourself, and it can be really, really overwhelming, especially with a lot of my visual symptoms, because it's such a small eyepiece on it, and I was so scared it wasn't in focus. And a lot of the shots turned out, and it wasn't earlier. And then I had shot in, it was part of, I took a class through FAVA, which is a huge film resource in Edmonton, and they did a Super 8 class, and I shot about 3 to 4 minutes worth of film, like a full Super 8 cartridge, and then I edited it down, and I made the 60-second film that showed in God a Minute Film Festival. Um, and yeah. My disability affects my career, I think, in a couple different ways. Um, Mostly, it affects me in a way of being unable to achieve um, what people think are the industry standards. In many ways, the film industry is such a hard career. Um, it's so fast paced. It has such long hours, and it's such hard work. Um, and all of those things, when you have a disability that affects almost everything you do, is like a complete no, in the way of that I need to be rested, I need to be relaxed, and I need to um, be able to work freely and move around freely. And it affects all of those things. Um, I have such a hard time adhering to what industry standards are, which can be up to 10 to 12-hour days. And there's no way I can physically do that at all. Um, and it can be very, very hard and very, very challenging um, to have a disability and move around freely when in a set you have to stay very put and stay quiet. I used to get so fatigued with just migraines, um, and it would be kind of like 2 days in a row of like working on a film, and then I would get probably like one of the really bad migraines. But now I can't really prepare for like the pain or what the day's gonna bring, and my tolerance of that has almost been cut in half. Um, and I think that's like probably the most challenging part for me is the fatigue. having a disability and having a career in filmmaking isn't all hard and bad. I feel like in many ways it has helped me be so much more clear and communicative through what I need in my process. Um, I have developed so many ways, like visual ways, to show someone what I am seeing and what I'm talking about. And having those like aids really helps ground me when I'm talking to somebody and I may have anxiety about it. Because then it's kind of like writing all your notes like in a visual kind of like little notebook. Um, and so, yeah, I definitely feel like it's helped me in many ways of communication. Um, and I think it really helps me be more creative, because I think I have so much more time on my hands, um, and between projects too. I have like that time to like write down ideas and think about what I really want to do and things I want to try and incorporate in things. So yeah, I definitely think it helps me in those ways. My Friend's Pets is a story hive, the very first story hive I ever did. It is also the very first production I did after a long hiatus of not working on anything, um, because of the pandemic. And it was also my first production that I was dealing with my new disability and chronic pain. um, so there's a lot of firsts on My Friend's Pets. It was also my first time working with animals. Um, I absolutely love My Friend's Pets looking back. I had so much fun with it. I would do so many different things though if I made that now. I found that process and that production so meaningful. It means so much to me. It turned out exactly how I wanted in the way of, um, I didn't want it to just be a whole bunch of clips of their pet. It was both equally about their pet, but also about them and the meaningful relationship that people have with their animals, and how important the idea of having and taking care of a pet is to so many different people, and what that means to everyone, because it was so different for everybody. Um, and yeah, I was also, that was like the first time also that I was hosting and I was in front of the camera. I was struggling a little bit because with my pain at that time, I that's when I was starting to get really swollen and I was starting to gain a whole bunch of weight. So I had all these like kind of like body image issues, um, and I think it also helped prepare me for this. I don't think I could have done this project first, like difficulty settings first. Um, it definitely had to come in the order it did. One of the most important things that I want to do with my career in Edmonton is stay here and create opportunities. I want to be a creative that um, helps forge the community into a larger thing. Um, and I feel like a lot of times that just starts with you consistently creating and then talking about those creations and showing them and doing what you can to help other people. And that was a big thing going and finishing film school for me. Was one of the biggest things I wanted to do was kind of like be a trailblazer in the way for other people who have disabilities and who are interested in film, because I didn't have any mentors that I knew that had disabilities when I was starting out. And when I was being taught, it was all by male teachers, and it took me a while to find female filmmakers um, of a higher level than me, and I think that that's something that I really want to do, is be there for those filmmakers behind me, um, and figure out what's best for me that maybe will help somebody else. I would love to make a collaborative space to make films with other people who have disabilities. And I just want to make sure that I'm passionate about every project that I put out. And I never want to stop being open and honest about my disabilities, and these are the things that I created with my disabilities, and these are the things that helped me create it. I think being open about that and talking about it will make other people see and be more aware of people with disabilities, of what they can do and what they can create. I think in every one of these interviews that I've had so far, I'm like, I just want to slow down. But I think that's very important, is making something to the best of your ability. And everyone's ability is different. And I don't know why not even film, but any job in general has been putting people into, you have to have these abilities in order to do this job well, because that's not even true. And I think for somebody who is interested in film and wants to be a filmmaker, it can be kind of scary to start, and sometimes it can be really, 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 really hard. But you find your own way and you find your own pace. And it kind of just takes meeting kind of the right person and hearing somebody very inspiring. That's a huge thing for me, is hearing people who inspire me to make films. Kind of inspires me to go out there and make it. And it's so much easier said than done to just go and do it. I always hate that expression, and that's never been my kind of philosophy in my life. I've always do what you need to do to get there, and that's kind of what I have taken in my life. And don't be scared that things are happening slowly, because in many ways that's good. It can be really hard to feel stagnant, and it can really be hard to feel like you're not getting anywhere or learning anything, but you are, and you're growing every day by every movie that you watch, by everything that you read, by every video that you watch online, or in every filmmaker you talk to or read about. Like, you're retaining some information and you're learning different things, and you're gonna find your own way of processing. And I think that's really important, is finding your own way and being confident and not backing down, especially with something like accommodations. It's really important to do what you want to do and to do what you love. You shouldn't be denied that because of physical limitation or a disability, something as that should be accommodated. That it's crazy to me that it isn't. I want to take this opportunity and say thank you for watching the past couple interviews. I hope that you're learning a lot about how my disability affects my life, and I hope that you're learning some things about yourself as well. So I hope that you can join me next time, where we'll be learning a little bit more about how my disability affects my life in different ways. But until then, thank you.